Hi guys, it's Carrie from Keri'd from Fleece. I'm going to show you how we pick up the provisional cast-on to do our grafting. This is the walk around the brim hat. This is the preemie size that I have all the way knitted here. You can see it's knitted completely flat. Then we got to pick up our provisional cast-on and graft the two ends together. So my working yarn, you can see, is coming from the brim side of the work. So when we pick up our provisional cast-on, because we're going to make the circle for the hat, we're going to pick up in the same direction, so our needle's coming out the same side for when we're grafting. So I like to turn my work around. And starting on the crown side here, take our needle. This loop, this first loop that comes to my yarn tail, that does count as the first stitch because that's where I started. I don't use a slip stitch when I start knitting, so this is our first stitch. So we'll pick that one up. Basically what we're going to do is we're going to pick all of our stitches up onto our needle, and then we're going to undo our provisional cast-on, and it should, fingers crossed, pull all the way out with no incident. So then we just pick up the next loop here. You can see it loops around. You can see how they loop around. It's one piece of yarn, loops all the way around. And the next one. And we just keep doing this until we have all 28 stitches back on our needles. And that's when we'll start unraveling the yarn. So and just pick up all 28 of your stitches. 9. And this one is a little hidden because of the purl stitch, but you can see it loops around right here. 11, and this one is a little hidden too underneath our provisional cast-on. And it's important to make sure you're picking up the original yarn, or the working yarn, and not the provisional cast-on yarn, because if you're picking up the provisional cast-on yarn, then you're going to have a loose stitch, live stitch, just kind of hanging out there after you take out your yarn, and you don't want that. Okay, so we're coming up to the end here. We have one more stitch here. And I always just kind of count to make sure that I have the same number that I had when I cast on. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, and 28. And that is how many I had when I cast on. So you remember from the provisional cast on, we made a longer tail on the end that we're going to unravel from. So we'll start by just pulling the yarn tail out from the loop here. And then we just pull, and it should unravel completely, not get stuck in any of our stitches. It's important to work in front of the provisional cast-on so that it doesn't get stuck inside the stitches. Once we start getting to the purl stitches, it does tend to get stuck a little bit. See how it's wrapped around my loop there, my stitch. So I'm just going to unwrap it all the way out. All the way, and keep going. I guess it's going to be wrapped around more than one. So you just keep going and unravel as it's stuck on there until you get to the end. Okay, as you can see here, I have unraveled. It was pretty wrapped around there in some spots. All of my provisional cast-on. I have my 28 stitches here. I am ready now to start grafting these together. You can see it makes a nice little tiny hat. This is the preemie size, like I said. This circle here, and then we'll provisional cast on, or graft these two together and make a circle for our preemie hat. Thanks for watching.